Yo, what is good, my anime faithful? What is good, yo? So, I am pretty interested in what popped off this week in Sword Art. Not only am I interested, I thought it was weird to see this season finale in this way. Or is it just me? Um, for one thing, it didn't even feel like a season finale to me. Like, it felt more or less just like something happened in the show, and we should be getting some information about it relatively soon, like next week. But for some reason, this was straight up a end episode of the season, which it again blows my mind. Um, with seeing the old eyeball thing again, and just how ridiculous the stuff that they go through as the dark the dark side of stuff. It's it's crazy to think that anybody who kind of is in a position to stop these things from happening. Um, for instance, there's uh, there's the main bad guy who wants all this to happen in the first place. Then we have somebody who kind of is um, who's kind of on the other side of the whole entire battle, like on the outside, not in the world anymore, but it sounds like he's coming back, which I think is funny. Um, Imagine having all this stuff go on, and the way you die is by falling into some dark abyss without even really doing much of anything. Like, you have an account that's ridiculously strong, and the most you did was hide around corners. Hold on. Excuse me. Um, Sneak around taking people out. And then after doing all that, you end up just dying. Like, you end up just losing your character altogether. So, for some reason, he says he has someone's like a special account he wants to use. Um, I don't know what the heck that means, but what I do know is something crazy is about to pop off, and I can't wait to see it as a whole. But that being said, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what people are feeling on this season of Sword Art and this episode. Uh, with how things transpired at the end, with Asuna pretty much getting saved by one of the opposing sides at the end of the day, it just kind of shows you that everything that goes on in this world is pretty messed up. Um, like, for some reason, the Dark Continent people couldn't even go against the guy's word. Like, for instance, if he was like, okay, go out there and lose your lives for me. Make sure you die because I need to be able to go out and do whatever the heck I want, right? If he said that, they would actually have to do that. And that's the crazy part to me is if they don't do that, that code on their eye actually went out of whack. So it's almost as if once you find out that you're supposed to be doing a certain thing, and if you don't do it for the higher up person, you will just be bopped by the system alone, which is messed up. So seeing that, and then also knowing that we're probably going to see uh, maybe more of this stuff happening, I'm not sure, but at the end of the day, at least we know that some of the characters really don't want to be doing this. It's just the only problem is they have no choice, right? Like, to have no choice to fight in a war, to have no choice to straight up be taken as like a pawn, being used as just pieces that are expelsible. Not only that, being on the side of the dark territory, fighting your, like your hardest, just to go to find out that your leader slash boss had some way to drop another pretty well sized army uh, to help fight. Like, he just randomly does it after you lost many, many people, and after you even watched other people sacrifice whole entire units to get really nowhere but to, have a little bit better of a chance of winning and capturing Alice, So these are the types of things in this show that makes you want to keep your eye on everything popping off, because at this point, anything that happens here on out is clearly going to, um, lead to bigger things at the end of the day, which I don't really know if anybody is in a position where Asuna and the other girl are from the American server, because look at the power difference between our forces and theirs, right? Like, to be fair, this is just the first wave of help our characters are getting, which makes me feel like the next season of Sword Art of this thing is going to be relatively played out. Like, I feel like they're going to drag it out pretty hard, because um, if it's 12 episodes, and we already have one of our main cast members showing up, and not only is she showing up, she's showing up with a broken character like Asuna did. She's not just showing up as one of these red knights with a sword and cutting abilities, right? Um, so comparing their forces compared to the others that they just brought in, it's no competition. But at the end of the day, that doesn't matter because of just how much stuff has been transpiring uh, in the Dark Territory as well. That now even the people that were on their side are seemingly against them, right? Like, now they don't even want to help them. So there's a lot of things that are popping off that is pretty hype, but at the same time, it just kind of goes to show you how much stuff is going to probably continue to just pop off. And I can't wait to see what happens at the end of the day. Because for me, Sword Art's always been an interesting show. Sure, it did get a little bit long, and I feel like the very first season, I wish it went longer. I wish they were in that world for, as long as they're doing this one, right? Like, give me that same amount of length, and I would have been relatively happy with the outcome of just being able to watch that much in that world. But to know that this might be one of the hyper parts is the next season of it, I'm excited to see it. So hope you guys are as well. I am your boy, the Anime G, and I will definitely be talking to you guys as soon as possible. Maybe one more video after Sword Art sooner than later. But with all that being said, I definitely will talk to you sooner than later. But thank you for putting up with my sickness. I don't know if you can tell right now. When I first made my videos, I hadn't even had cough drops or any type of medicine, so now that I have a little bit of medicine and I'm making this video, I feel a little tiny bit better of my voice and not hurting so much, but still, your boy's in pain, and I'm going to try to recover as quickly as possible. So with that being said, peace.